After seeing the almost unrecognizable appearance of Sharon Stone in The Laundromat, the most recent movie in which she appears, I have no doubt that the passing of time doesn't spare anyone. And ever since that iconic moment in 1992 with her uncrossed legs that's considered one of the hottest scenes in cinema history, the life of the actress has never been the same. So keep watching to find out about all the details behind one of the most memorable scenes of Hollywood, and why Sharon Stone slapped the director in the face. A few days ago, The Laundromat was released on Netflix. It's a movie that talks about the case of the Panama Papers that happened in 2016. For those of you that have no idea what the hell that is, let me explain. These are over 11 million leaked documents taken from a law company in Panama that detailed information about money laundering and other illegal things involving money by a lot of companies and wealthy people from the international elite. That sounds kind of ridiculous. Anyway, the important thing is that the actress who in the 90s became a sex symbol appears in that movie. Now let's hope that what I will tell you next won't have us censored. Anyway, of course I was talking about the beautiful and sensual Sharon Stone. And despite being 61 years old and the natural effects of the passing of time, the actress still has that something of a femme fatale that back in the day left many men and teenagers completely out of breath. To prove that Sharon is still sexy despite approaching the so-called middle age, she recently had a really seductive photo shoot for Vogue Portugal. Why did she do it? It's because of the 27th anniversary of the premiere of the movie that made her one of the eternal symbols of sensuality, which she is to this day. During the promo interview given to Vogue, the actress admitted, quite modestly of course, that she knows very well that she is still sexy. I too have no doubt about it, Sharon. But before I tell you all about the movie, and especially about the scene that marked Sharon's life and career forever, I'm going to tell you a bit about the way Sharon got to that point. I promise I'll be very brief. The actress's full name is Sharon Von Stone, and she was born on March 10, 1958 in Meadville, Pennsylvania. From a very young age, Sharon had always shown huge dedication and a massive determination in her studies. She was so academically gifted that just at the age of 15, she received a student scholarship at Edinburgh University in Pennsylvania, where she studied creative literature and arts. It was when she was in college that she also decided to take advantage of her looks. After winning the title of Miss Crawford County and Miss Pennsylvania, Sharon took her chance and moved to New York City to try her luck as a professional model. And she didn't sign with just any agency, but with the prestigious Ford Modeling. Soon, early in the 70s, pictures of Sharon had already appeared all around the United States. But it was in the 80s that Sharon took the opportunity to act. First, she appeared on TV, and later, in 1984, she starred in the Golden Globe-nominated movie Irreconcilable Differences, where she played the part of Blake Chandler. Already by then, Sharon had been considered one of the most attractive and sexiest actresses in Hollywood. In fact, she was so popular and desired that in July 1990, she appeared on the cover of Playboy magazine, and that photo shoot placed her among the 25 sexiest celebrities of the century. Alright, I told you it was going to be short, but how can I not mention the biggest thing in her career? Now, when 1992 came, it was the time when a then 34-year-old Sharon also got the opportunity to play the femme fatale Catherine Trammell. It was a woman who was suspected of having committed a violent crime in the unforgettable Basic Instinct. But did you know that she was not the first person who was considered for the role of that controversial character? There actually were 12 other candidates who read the script, and after doing so, they rejected the role. Among them were Julia Roberts, Michelle Pfeiffer, Kim Basinger, Meg Ryan, Gina Davis, and Demi Moore. And apparently, the rumor has it that when those actresses finished reading the script, they asked the Dutch director Paul Verhoeven if the film really was going to be this R-rated, to which he sarcastically responded that no, it would be even worse. In fact, according to some sources, the director wanted the film to be the first mainstream movie to show full frontal male nudity, but it wasn't allowed. Take that, YouTube, you're not the first one with such crazy censorship. But despite all that, Sharon accepted the role. Although sometime later, there appeared a story that continues to be one of those urban legends with a bit of truth to it and a bit of exaggeration. It's because, according to many sources, the actress believed that her character's not wearing underwear would only be implied and not actually be shown in the iconic interrogation scene. The one thing on which both the director and Sharon agree is that he asked her to take off her white underwear because, as he claimed, it reflected light on the camera lens. According to that version, the actress not only agreed, but even as part of a mischievous and seductive game, put the garment in her pocket. After that, they took several shots, and finally when the director showed her the results on the screen, she was satisfied with it. Up to that point, right? Well, not really. It turns out that when Sharon saw the full scene remastered on the big screen, she got so angry that she approached the director, slapped him in the face, and left the screening. And according to her version, Sharon felt lied to and exposed. What the director said was that she agreed to the scene and was aware of what would be filmed and shown on the screen. But Sharon explained that since at that time movies weren't in high definition, when she watched the scene at the end of the shoot, she really didn't see anything on the small screen. After hitting the director in the face, Sharon demanded that Verhoeven delete the scene. But he quite confidently responded that any actress knows what she's going to see if she was asked to take off her underwear and the camera pointed there. The truth is that not only that iconic scene was problematic for the actress, but even the process of shooting was quite difficult. First, it took a lot for her to get into the character. In fact, there had been rumors that her relationship with Douglas was so bad that he often asked for Sharon to be replaced with Kim Basinger. Well, apparently poor Sharon struggled so much while recording that one time her best friend had to be near her while shooting one of the scenes to support her and make her feel safe. And considering that the team took a few days to record the scenes in bed, during which both she and Douglas had to spend hours in their birthday suits, I can understand how difficult and awkward it had to be for Sharon. In addition, according to several sources, the actress actually wasn't the most modest during the time of the filming. It's because Sharon preferred not to use the protective patches that covered her private parts, because she had to take them off every time she had to go to the toilet, and that obviously was quite a pain. The actress even said sometime later that after days of filming, the entire film crew got to know her better than her own gynecologist. And as if it wasn't enough, as if all the efforts were for nothing, the premiere of the movie caused controversy, not only because of the very explicit content, but also because of the violence included in it. In fact, there had been several protests outside theaters worldwide by the LGBT community and other activists. They said that the movie portrayed them in a really negative way, especially women, because it showed them as crazy and violent people. The controversy around the movie was so huge that Sharon's manager told her that it was very likely that her career would die because of it. He was so wrong. Basic Instinct actually became one of the highest-grossing movies in history. Besides that, even though at the beginning the story caused such an uproar, at the same time it also turned the actress into a sex symbol in Hollywood. Not to mention that it gave her a Golden Globe nomination, and almost as soon as the film was released, Sharon entered the list of the 50 most attractive people. And to think that, as written by the screenwriter Joe Eszterhas in his memoir Hollywood Animal, the idea for that scene came from the director's personal experience. Really? As he revealed, Verhoeven told him that on one occasion during a wild party, one of the girls that was there and was already quite drunk told the director that she wasn't wearing any underwear, and she paid close attention to his reaction when he sat on the couch. According to the scriptwriter, at that moment Paul really wanted to eternalize that situation in one of his movies, and Sharon became his muse. After the success and controversy of Basic Instinct, and despite what Sharon's manager tried to predict, Sharon's career was on the rise, and then she played in the well-received Martin Scorsese movie Casino. But when it comes to her personal life, the actress wasn't having such a good time. In fact, in 2001, after having suffered from strong migraines for some time, unfortunately Sharon had a stroke that put her life at risk. Fortunately, she survived and recovered, although as she says, many people never treated her the same after that. As if that wasn't enough, her love life wasn't so good either. In 1984, she married the producer Michael Greenberg, but they divorced after 3 years. 11 years later, in 1998, she remarried, this time to the executive editor Phil Bronstein, and they adopted a baby son, Rowan Joseph, in 2000. But with her second husband, it didn't work out either, and they got divorced in 2004. But way before that, they had a pretty scary incident. So, in 2001, a Komodo dragon confused Phil's bare foot with his usual lunch. How? Well, let me explain. In June 2001, the Bronstein Stone family went to the LA Zoo to celebrate Father's Day with a private tour. When they arrived at the cage of the very fascinating Komodo dragon, the caretakers asked Phil to take off his shoes because they were white and the animals had a special diet that consisted of food of that color. So Phil did what they asked him to do, but it seems that our beloved huge animal that day felt like eating something different. Phil was badly bitten on one of his feet and tried to wrench out of the animal's teeth, while Sharon was a witness to the scene and was completely terrified. Fortunately, Phil managed to pull away from the huge reptile, and after having several of his tendons and big toe rebuilt, Sharon reported that he was in stable condition. After the divorce with Phil, the actress decided to adopt 2 more boys, Laird Vaughn in 2005 and Quinn Kelly a year later. Since then, she has lived with her 3 children in the luxurious mansion she bought with the money earned from the movie Basic Instinct. By the way, did you know that Sharon modified that property to make it look like a real French castle? At present, and for some years now, Sharon has been in a relationship with the Italian businessman Angelo Boffa, who by the way is almost 20 years younger than her. However, that has not been an obstacle on the way to enjoy all the delights that the actress can afford with her fortune valued at $60 million and a youthful and of course sexy spirit. What do you think, guys? Did you know all these details behind one of the most iconic scenes in Hollywood? Do you think Sharon Stone still looks as radiant and sexy? Let's talk about it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with Curiosips. Until next time.